Welcome back. So in this video we're going to be tearing down the Datsun. My summer project is to bag at least the rear of this. I want to do the front and the back, but I don't know if I'll have enough money and time to do all that. So we're going to pull the bed off in this video, put it in the backyard, and then I've got to do a whole bunch of measurements, buy a whole bunch of metal, and figure out air management so I can at least do the rear of this thing. And then after we do the rear, we'll do the front, which will be even more welding, even more money, but I think it'll look a lot better. All right, the bed is unmounted now and all the wires are unplugged, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it off now so we can put it in the backyard. Stop. All right.
Oh. Uno, dos, tres. Alright. What do you mean alright? Oh, much. Are you good? Nope. No, not really. Yep, you guys are doing great.
On the brakes.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I don't even get hold of it.
Hold it at the wheel well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you fix my tag? Lift it up.
Just load it in.
That's the rattle I heard when we were at the Dragon. That's good. Now that the bed is off, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the gas tank and probably drop the 4 bolts on the drive shaft. I'm not sure yet. There are, sorry you guys can't see, there are 4 12 mils on this side and I think 4 more on the other side. And then I've got 2 disconnect. I think just this one hose. And then the fuel sender, all it does is unplug. And then in the morning, we'll probably cut this bracket off because it's right in the way where our notch is going to go. And then I also got a new welder. If you know anything about Hobart, I got a Hobart 210 MVP, but I won't be able to use it until this weekend when I get some more parts for it, because it was, of course, missing the 220 or 240 volt plug. I don't really know which one's the right way to say it, but yeah, hopefully I get all those parts this weekend and I can start learning how to use it. Alright, and last clip, we got the bed off. I pulled the gas tank out, and now if I remember to link it, I'll link the video in the description, but we measured our ground clearance and then we measured our ground clearance from the bottom of the frame where the center of the axle is, and technically I only need 3.5 inches for my notch for it to lay frame, but we're gonna do probably 5 inches just in case I get bigger wheels in the future. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna get these back wheels off, get the frame on some jack stands, and try to get it as level as possible. And then once we get it on jack stands, we're gonna come in here and cut this cross member out and cut this bracket off for the fuel tank, and then we're gonna clean up the frame and start putting our notch in. So as you can see, we got both shocks out. I'm trying to get this brake line off because it's gonna be in the way as well, but not having really good luck with that. Without it spinning. I'm gonna get a wrench on the back side, so hopefully we can get this out without stripping it.
Good.
Left. Alright, we got the brake line off. The back is level. And the frame is level enough. So next up we're gonna start cutting the cross member out and the bracket for the gas tank. Alright, one more cut. Well, technically, 3 more.
Where's the third? Oh,
This
there'll be 4 more.
You want? Is it out?
No.
Almost.
That smells really stinky.
Alright, now we gotta cut this bracket off for the spare tire.
It fell.
It's hot.
You said it's hot?
Yes.
My truck. Alright, now that we got the cross member out, we're going to cut this bracket off for the fuel tank. And since we're cutting that off, we're eventually going to have to relocate the fuel tank. How do I do this?
I wouldn't stand there.
I know, I'm probably got the move.
You good?
Is there anything flammable behind you?
This is the fuel line.
That's it, and we're gonna. Ooh.
How do I cut this without cutting the brake line off?
Just re-weld the brake line.
You can't re-weld the brake line.
Just cut it off. And then
I
pull
wanna
the...
cut the brake line off.
No, cut the thingy off and pull the brake line through it.
Yeah, but the brake line's in the way.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
I have to cut this
on
off.
fire.
Just bend the brake line.
Then it'll kink.
Yeah, then unkink it.
You can't.
Says who?
I need the tawny hard. Nope. Nope. Hammer.
I want to hit something.
this? I can't tell.
No.
Give me the pry bar. I need to get under and cut off the bottom too. Oops. Right there. Dang, it ain't even all the way through yet. Got it. All right. There we go.
It's off.
It's off now. This exhaust is in the way. Alright, I got that bracket off for the fuel tank, and before Tyler leaves, we're gonna go ahead and get center of this axle so we know where to put our notch. These little C-notches are not in the correct spot whatsoever. The axle still hits the frame. So we're gonna use this plumb bob. That's what it's called. And we're gonna get center of the axle.
Sorry.
If it doesn't tangle up. So it looks like center to you. Plumb bobbing. Right
Yeah.
there? Oh, it might come over right there.
Yeah.
And we'll use our speed square and go straight across. But let's do that on the other side as well. Right there?
Yeah.
Oh, I moved. What's about center?
About?
It's closer than the C-notch. And we'll just use our speed square here and go straight across.
The triangle.
This is called speed square.
There's a triangle.
That is a triangle.
I might need another Sharpie. There we go. And as you can see, the C-notch is too far back on both sides. And you can see here where the U-bolts have been hitting the axle on both sides. Alright, I'm going to finish cleaning up the frame on both sides off camera, and then we'll get back on this once I practice some welding. And then we'll throw the big notch in. Alright, we got our frame nice and cleaned up now. I got all the mounts off and everything's pretty straight now. I kind of set up one of those step notches and just kind of lightly traced an area here and here on all four sides where I just kind of want to clean up the frame so we have some good bare metal to weld to. So I'm going to go ahead and hit all that with the flat disc, well, this cheek poker, and we're going to clean that up. And then once I get that cleaned up, I'm going to practice some welding off camera because, as you can tell by the C-notch, I'm not very good at welding. So let me get this frame cleaned up some more and then we'll get to some welding. Alright, frame is all cleaned up now. I got inside and outside on both sides. Like I said, I'm gonna do some practice welds real quick just to see where I'm at, and then we might do the big notch tonight, we might do it tomorrow, I don't know yet. Okay, if you remember earlier, we leveled the frame. I've got the back notch level and the front notch is level for the most part. Yeah, there we go, level. And then if we do side to side, it's level there, it's level in the middle, and it's level in the back. And then I took my speed square and they line up pretty much here and here, so I think they're pretty square now. And then if we measure from the bottom of the frame to the top of the notch, we are sitting at about 5.5 inches for our notch. Right about there, 14 centimeters, about 5.5 inches on both sides. So I think I'm gonna hit this with a few tacks real quick on both sides, and then I could try to do the other side, try to line up that side. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, we take our speed square right here, we line it up with our mark I made earlier, and we're going for this black mark, not this one, this one. That is pretty much lined up straight on both sides. It's pretty much lined up straight. So like I said, I'm gonna tack this in real quick and then we'll get the other side in. I can't see anything, the light's too bright, way too bright. Alright, sorry for the change of scenery. It's the next day. I've done everything I can to make sure this gun works today. I replaced the liner, I replaced the tips, I got new O-rings for the shielding gas. So, we're gonna see if it wants to feed today. I'm gonna throw my gloves on real quick and we're gonna see if we can actually get this tacked in today. Because tomorrow, because yesterday didn't go as planned. So hopefully this will go good today. Still incredibly porous. I don't know why it's doing that. The gas is definitely on. Put it at 15 and see if that fixes it. Buying this up at all, but I'm having good luck with that. Very cool. Don't understand. Less porous, but it's so hot it's burning a hole into my frame. Let me turn it down 1 notch to 5. We'll keep the wire speed the same. We'll see what we can do. Really porous. I don't know why it's so bad. Let's see if I can figure out what I'm doing wrong. Alright, I kind of got it welded in. I don't really like the way it looks. I think it's so porous because the frame's so rusty. But, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I just don't want it to be a future problem, which is my big concern right now. But I mean, I don't know. I could hit it with a hammer. It's probably not gonna come off, but I don't know. I don't like all the porosity in the welds. because I'm scared that it's going to break. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so we're really in it now. I figured out why my welds were so porous. So this is where the gas line goes in, right? Notice how there's nothing connected here? Yeah, this goes right here. So I've not had any gas flow the entire time, so that means I get the joy of cutting that back out and doing it the right way, because I don't want to leave it like that. It's gonna break and it's gonna be a big problem. So I guess I should probably put this back together and see if I can actually get some flow out of my nozzle now. I knew there was something wrong when I put a plastic bag over the nozzle and squeezed the trigger and the plastic bag didn't blow up. So yeah, this is what I get for buying a welder off of Marketplace. Alright, this is where we're at. I'm actually going to do that one tomorrow off camera because I'm about to have to go to work. But I think I've got this one pretty much lined up exactly with that one. So we check our levels. Level there. Level there. Level there. We're pretty much in line with our marks on both sides. And I made sure that they're the same height. So we've measured from the bottom of the frame here, and we go to the bottom of the notch. It's about 5 1/4. So if we flip this over, go to the bottom of the frame here, it's pretty much right at 5 1/4 as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm going to tack this one in real quick since I actually have gas coverage now. And heck, I might just weld it in. I'll at least tack it in so I can get the vice grips off, and then we'll weld it in. And then, like I said, I'll do that one. I'll cut out all the porous welds tomorrow morning and fix it tomorrow morning off camera. And then we'll do like the top caps back on camera, and then after we do that, we'll do the bottom caps as well on camera. So let me set up the camera for this. Alright, let's see what happens with correct gas coverage. I'm gonna cut the wire real quick and throw my gloves on. I got my gas on, I got my ground on. So, should be able to weld something the correct way now. Man now. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what I should have done before I tacked it in? Let's get my big level and see if everything was level actually. Oh yes. Yes it is. Ooh. Let me turn the camera on. It's going right over the notch, and they're level, pretty much level. If I put it on these bed mounts right here, pretty much exactly the same levelness from the bed mounts to both notches, pretty much exactly the same. I'm very happy with that. I'm gonna start welding this in, and yeah. Alright, I got the passenger side all welded up. Very, very happy with how that turned out. I might cut that one out just because, you know, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't like the way it looks. But yeah, that'll be a tomorrow project. I've got to get ready for work. And then, like I said, we'll do that one off camera so you guys don't have to watch me weld again. Alright guys, we got the driver's side caught up to the passenger side. I went ahead and welded the inside on both sides. And I cut this out since I had all that porosity in those welds. I don't think I'm going to put that back in. But for now, I believe we're going to start throwing the caps on the top. And then hopefully we can start cutting out the middle section soon and put the bottom cap on. Alright guys, both sides are welded in now. I finally figured out how to weld, it seems like. These are actually beads that I ran. And I think they look pretty good, besides some drippage here. But other than that, I think I dialed in the welder. Next up, we're gonna cut out the center section here, and yeah, we'll put the other caps in, weld it all together. After we cut it out, we'll paint all the inside so it doesn't rust, and yeah, it's about to have a notch in it. It's out. Next up, we're gonna start cleaning this up and getting it ready for paint. pretty good on that side. Alright, I got both sides burned in now. On both sides. I think up next I'm gonna jack this thing up so I can get underneath it and weld in the bottom and cut off any excess that's running below the frame, just so it looks kind of decent. And then after that we'll clean it up. Alright, I still haven't welded the bottom of the notches yet, but I think we'll be good for now. I went and got some tubing so we can make cross members for the notches. And then over here we have the upper bag mounts. We're gonna try to place those as far up as we can, because when we compress the bag's gonna be 2.8 inches. So we are gonna make sure that we aren't sacrificing low based on the bag height when it's fully compressed. So I've marked these center, and I still have center marked on the notches. So we're just gonna line up the upper bag mounts with the center mark on the notch, and then we'll figure out how high to put it based on that. And we've also got to level it with the notch so that it's not crooked or anything when we lower it down. Alright, we got both sides tacked in. I had to go down a little bit further so our cross member tubing would fit in the corners here, but that is pretty level, and then that is level enough. This measurement is just under 1 3/4, and then if we go on the other side, there's that level measurement. That level measurement is a little off, but it'll be fine. And then if we measure it, it's just below 1 3/4 inches. So we're good on both sides. We'll get both of these burned in, and then our cross members, I've got to cut them down just a little bit because they're a little bit too long, and then we'll burn those in. So let me burn these in off camera, and then we'll get back with you guys. Alright, I got both upper bag mounts burned in. The top, I said to do the bottom, but I think up next we're going to do the cross members. Here is one of them. So they're going to go right there and just go straight across on the front and the back. That's why I had to lower the bag mounts a little bit so the crossbars would sit right above the bag mounts. And then we'll burn it in there, and then do a little burn in where it meets the upper bag mount. But yeah, let me cut these down real quick and we'll see if we can get them in. Alright guys, this is exactly what we need for our cross members. I got these cut down so they fit in place. We're about to burn these in, and like I said, we'll do a little bead right here so it connects to the cross member, and we'll get these nice and level so that they're not all out of whack. But yeah, I'm gonna burn these in off camera, and then I don't know what we're gonna do next yet. Okay, we got everything burned in. Bottom side, on both sides. I got pretty crappy welds right there, but everything's burned in front and back. It's Sunday night. My triangulated 4-link stuff doesn't show up until Tuesday, so what I'll probably do is I'll weld the underside of these notches off camera one night when I'm bored, and I guess one night throughout the week we'll throw in that 4-link. I've got to figure out how I'm going to position the axle so it doesn't move, because I've got to get the pinion angle right before I weld in the parallel bars and the other bars. So we'll figure it out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rest of this bracket off tonight and call it a night, but I'll get back on this once the 4-link comes in. Alright, we're finally back out here on this thing. It's been like 2 weeks since I got to work on this. I just pulled the exhaust out and we cut the cross member out where the drive shaft was hitting. I'm about to level up this frame so that we can start getting drive shaft angles, and then once we get all our drive shaft angles, we'll start putting the 4-link on the rear end and trying to figure that out. Alright, I know we're jumping ahead a lot, but frame is pretty level. I think this is going to be ride height. I've got the axle set to exactly where it would be if the wheels are on it, so it would be technically ride height because that's how high up the wheels bring the axle up. Let's see here. I measured some angles. I got all the U-bolts off, so the axle is free floating right now on jack stands, and I've got it set with that. So I'm not sure if this makes any sense, but this is our axle, this is our transmission, this is our carrier bearing. So the angle on our transmission is positive 3.5 degrees, and now I have our axle at positive 3.5 degrees, but our drive shaft is at 0 degrees all the way across. And I think that's a problem because you don't want your universal joints at 0 degrees because they won't, they'll shake because they won't grease the insides as much as they should. So I think we have to change our carrier bearing height. I've got it shimmed up. I did that before I did all this, so it would be closer to correct. Because our axle was at positive 7 degrees. That's why it shook so bad when we drove it. So I think we have to do something about the center bearing or the carrier bearing so that we have some better angles with the drive shaft. Let me see if I can figure that out. I'm going to try my best to clean up this axle where we're going to start tagging in our 4-link. I'm going to go ahead and pull the leaf springs off because they're in the way, and then I think I have to take the leaf spring mounts off because I think that's where we're going to mount our 4-link. They sent these, which go on the side of the frame, but we've got a bunch of fuel lines and brake lines in the way, so we're not going to do it on the side of the frame. We're probably going to cut this off, so we just have this, and we go underneath the frame, and then we put it in line with our mount here for our upper leaf spring mount, and then it'll just go straight across here, and then we have to make sure that this is also parallel to our frame, and then after we do that we can do our triangulation and figure that out. So let me start ripping stuff out. Okay, I got those mounts off our axle, cleaned up the axle, so I think we're ready to tack some stuff in place. I got all my measurements pretty much exactly the same on both sides. Pinion angle is about the same as it was before. It's a little bit shorter, maybe like 2.5 now, but that'll be fine. We got the axle centered in between these as well, and what I'm gonna do now is tack these on and make sure they're the same length, so they'll go about right there. And then once those are in, we'll cut this bracket off so we have a place to weld in our parallel link. Alright, both of the lower parallel brackets are the same distance away from the backing plate, and I took the level and stuck it on here. Both sides are level, so I think I'm going to weld those completely up, and then we'll start putting in the parallel bar, which means I have to cut off the leaf spring bracket. But yeah, let me get those welded in, and then we'll work on that parallel bar. Alright, I got both of these mounts welded in a little bit better. I've still got to go around it, but yeah, I'm about to cut this mount off. Oops. I'm about to cut this mount off, and yeah, we'll go from there. Looks like it's welded pretty good, so that's gonna be a lot of fun to get off. But I'm gonna do it a little off camera because that's gonna take a while. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay, as you can see, I got the passenger side in. I don't really like where this is because it's right now it's the lowest point on the frame, which means we're not going to be able to lay frame. But the problem is that our bar here is too long. If it was a little bit shorter, we could shorten up this mount and move this mount up above the bottom of the frame, but we're not going to be able to do that with this bar. What I should have done is got some DOM tubing and drilled the inside of it and tapped it so that the bar would be shorter, which I might do that in the future, but for now I think this will be fine because I still haven't even started the front. So I think we'll fix this after I do the front. I think I'm gonna start on the other side now and get that parallel bar in, and then after that we'll start working on the triangulation bars, and then after that the rear end's in. All we'll have to do is put the lower bag mounts in, and then we'll put our bags on. Alright, I've got both parallel bars in now. I'm still gonna cut off these brackets because they're right in the way, but like I said, that's going to be the lowest point of our frame for now. I still got to weld up the mounts that are on the axle, and right now we're about to get the triangulation bars in, but I've got to figure out my angles and how high up the front mounts are supposed to be. So let me figure all that out and I'll be right back. Alright, we got the mounts on the axle now. We actually had to make some mounts with some material we cut from the parallel mounts. So all these are in now. They're about 30 degrees from center on both sides, so a total of 60 degrees there. And right now we are going to measure and see how far up we have to make the triangulation bar. Yeah, so I'll try to link a video about that because I have no idea how to explain it. But once we get that one in, we can start putting our lower bag mounts in, and then the rear end will go up and down soon. Alright, I got the triangulation bar in on the driver's side. Had to make a couple of brackets so that the mount here would be tall enough. It's about 1/4 of an inch short, but it's going to be good enough for now. Next up, we got to do the other side, which is going to be a lot harder because there's brake lines and fuel lines in the way. So our little brackets there are going to have holes in them so that we're not against the lines there. But we'll figure it out. It's getting late. I might do the other side tomorrow. But we've got 3 of the 4 bars in now. So we're making some progress now. Alright, got both triangulation bars in now. Cycled the rear end up and down a few times. Kind of looks like our rear end moved back a little bit, our pinion angle, so we'll look at that. I know we can move these bars in a little bit. Sorry about that, the camera died. As I was saying, we got both triangulation bars in now. I did check our pinion angle, it's still the same. Right now I am cleaning up the axle where we're going to weld our lower bag mounts on, and I gotta clean some paint off of these because they're painted. And then we'll just kind of set the bags in place, tack it in, and then we'll take the bags back out and weld in the lower mounts. And after that, it should be done, other than I've got to get this thing up so I can weld underneath because I still haven't done that. But yeah, I'm gonna start welding in these lower mounts. Alright, got both sides welded in now. We're gonna hit it with a little paint and then let it cool down a little bit. We got to put our bags back in and figure out some brake lines. Alright, I got a little bit of paint on here, got both our bags back in. I'm about to throw some fittings on these and put it on a straighter valve just to see if it'll go up and down. And then after that, we'll probably finish off the video. Alright, we're gonna see if it'll go up and down now. Oh, I forgot it was on that pan. I'm gonna take this shredder valve out. It's about as low as it can go. Set that right there. We'll air it back up. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. As you can tell, we go up and down now. It's only the rear, but it'll be fine for now. That is pretty good for now. Eventually we'll do the front, but I've got to do more painting, I've got to do more welding, and I've got to cut our bed up. I've got to fix brake lines, and then I'm probably going to run this fuel tank for a little bit just in the bed because I'm not sure where to put the fuel tank yet because we're still going to have to do compressor, valves, all that stuff, and air tank. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.